Hi, in this activity we're going to do two things. We're going to add an icon to the tab of the browser and we're going to publish the web page. We're going to work with some of the pages that we've been working on in previous activities, and you'll see that I have them open here. Distractions, HTML, these are really all of the files that we had in our folder called HTML, right? Distractions, learning, and procrastination.html, and the images that are in this file. There's one additional image that you'll need to download and put in your image file, and that's this .icon.phg. This is going to be the icon that we're going to use up here. Notice when I open this how small it is. See how teeny that is right there? This is 16 pixels by 16 pixels, so they're very small images that we want to put up here. Notice what's in the tab of the browser right now. So right now in the tab of the browser is just a page with a corner folded down, and that's just a default icon that your browser puts in there, and depending on your browser it might be different. But we want to specify what one we want. So to do this, we're going to go in the head of our document. Let's go ahead and do Learning HTML first. And I'm going to stay inside the head. I'm just going to go to the bottom. It doesn't actually matter whether you go in the top or the bottom. But the way we're going to do this is with a link tag. So we want a link tag, and this is a self-closing tag. So we can close it like this. And there's a couple of attributes we need to add. So one is the relationship attribute. That's rel equals, and in here we're going to say what's the relationship. Rel stands for relationship. Well, we're linking a file with this web page, and the relationship is icon. So we're going to put icon there. The next attribute that we do is type. And the type is, it's an image, so we know what type it is, and then slash, and it actually wants to know what version of an image. So what is the extension? So if we look at the file and we see that .icon.png, so the file, it's an image, but it's a PNG file. So put image/PNG. And if you have another image that's a JPEG or a GIF, then you would put JPG or GIF there. Then the last attribute we need is an href, and in here we're going to be telling it where to find the file. So this is going to be a relative address, and we're going to say, well, here we are, we're not here, right? We're working in a file called Learning HTML, and it's right here. And so we need to say from here, you need to go inside the folder images, and then once you get inside that folder images, there it is, the image right there, .icon.png. All right, and so those are the things that we need to add to that, and then we'll save it, go back to the web page and refresh. Oh, and I have the wrong file open. Let me do that again. I'll do a control open, make sure I get the right file. And there we see that we open it up, and there's that icon right there. So that's how you add an icon. It's simply a link tag with the right attributes. Another thing that's important is that you've got an image that will work well. So you want an image that will be the right size for an icon. They need to be simple and small. Now if we want it on the others, notice that we've put it on the learning.html, but it isn't on managing procrastination or the distractions file. So let's go ahead and add that, and all I'm going to do is copy that link tag, and I'm going to go in both those files and just simply put it, the same one, in there and save it in the distractions file and in the procrastination file. And then I can go back, and now we can go see these, and there it is. Now the icon is showing up on all of them. So that's how you add an icon in the tab of to show up in the tab of the browser. The next thing we want to do is upload the file. Now there are some other videos that talk about the details of how to do this. I'm going to just go through it quickly here, just help you move through the activity so you can do it along with me for practice in doing it. But if you want to learn more about the specifics of how to do these steps, you can go and watch those other videos that have been published in more detail. I'm going to be using a tool called CyberDuck. You can use a different FTP tool. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and you can use a different one if you'd like, but this is the one I'm going to demonstrate. And we're going to be publishing on the Icarus web server. So I'm going to open the connection, change it to SFTP, and then I need to put the server. And the server that we're going to use is icarus.cs.weber.edu. And you have to spell that right. I was having trouble earlier this afternoon connecting to that, and it was because I had I was spelling it wrong. All right, and then you put your username in here, and my username for this is DS65432, and I'm going to put my password here, and then I can check to save the password or not. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to connect. All right, so it's making that connection, and here I am. When it opens up, it opens inside the public HTML. Now, it opens outside of it. So we're outside of it right now. We can see that folder. We need anything that we upload here will not be visible on the internet. So we need to make sure that we open that public HTML folder and get inside it. You can tell up here that it's home, then my username, and then I'm inside the public HTML folder. And then I want to upload it. All right, now the easiest way to do that is to upload the entire folder. If I upload the entire folder, then everything will be there. So I'm going to go to upload, and then I can find it. Now this is part of the, this can be tricky to find where your documents are. So it's not in my documents. I have to go all the way back out to the user, find my box sync, and then, so finding where your files are can sometimes be tricky. So make sure you know where they are and how to get to them. I'm in Publishing and Publishing LA, and in Resources, there's my HTML folder. I'm going to choose the whole folder. I can choose an individual file as well, but I want the whole folder to come up. So I'm going to choose the folder. And here it comes up and it says it's uploading it. It's telling me it's happening. Yep, and now that's complete. So I go in here and there it is. There's the HTML folder, and if I open it up, it has those 3 HTML files and the image folder, and inside the image folder are all those icons. Okay, so now that's uploading it. That's how you publish it, and you need to make sure that you have everything. You need to have all of the HTML files and all of the images. Right? Everything that you're using on your web page needs to be uploaded. Then the next thing that you need to do is to know how to find the file, find the web page. So here we see that it starts with file, and that's not what's going to work for us. This is the local one, and we want to find the one that's published. So to do that, I'm going to type in icarus.cs.weber.edu/ and then you have to do the tilde and your username. So tilde ds and whatever your username is what you'll put there, / and now once I do that, so as soon as I put the host icarus.cs.weber.edu and then I put the tilde, my username, this gets me to public HTML. So it doesn't get me inside that HTML, it gets me right here, which is just barely inside that public HTML. So inside there, I need to go into this HTML folder. And then once I'm in that HTML folder, notice how I'm just creating this same path up here that is here. And I'm starting right here inside public HTML. And once I get inside there, then I want to type this file, learning.html. All right, and then I push enter, and there it is. And notice everything's there. The icon is there, all the images are showing up. And so it's looking just like the one that I have on my local machine. But instead of having a file connection, I have a connection to the Icarus web server. A couple of things to make a note of that's you want to make sure that you get things exactly right. One is capitalization. You'll know that it's my policy that everything's lowercase, and then you don't have issues with capitalization because it's case sensitive once you upload it to the server. It's not on your local machine, but it is once you get uploaded to the server. So that's very important. The other thing is it's important that you don't use CyberDuck's suggestion for the URL. So notice if I go into Action and I select Open URL, it gives me the wrong URL. It starts with HTTPS, and we don't need that. And we just use HTTP. It does get the host name right, but notice how it adds home. It does not put a tilde here. It adds the public HTML. We do not include public HTML or home in there. So be sure and don't use the URL that Icarus suggests. Notice it does not work. Okay, so make sure you get the one that you're used to doing in there correctly. One more thing that we're going to do in this activity is change learning.html to the file name index.html. The reason why we're going to do this is to demonstrate how web servers work when a URL does not include a file. So right now, if I get rid of the file name learning.html in my URL and I push enter, I'm going to get this forbidden. It says it can't find it. If I have a file with a default file name and the URL doesn't include a file name, the server will automatically look for any default file name, and if it finds it, it will display it. And one really commonly used default file name is index.html. So learning.html is our main page, and I'm going to close this here so it doesn't give me so Sublime doesn't give me another file. And I'm going to go into HTML and I'm going to rename it. And I'm going to call it index.html. This is one of the default file names that is recognized by web servers. So I call it that, and then I'm going to open it up. Okay. Now, as soon as I do that, I need to change the menu, or my navigation menu, right? So my navigation list is going to look for learning.html, and now I need to say, no, I want you to look for index.html. When you're on this one, I need to change that here. I need to change it in this distractions file. I need to change it in the procrastination file, and I need to save it in all those places. Okay, now I want to go ahead and make sure that we're still working here. I'm going to do a control open. This will open it locally. So go to HTML and open the index HTML here. Go to procrastination, handling distractions, back to learning. Okay, so those links are working, all of those. And now what I want to do is upload them. So I'm going to go, and now I not only want to be in public HTML, I'm just going to upload the HTML file. So I'm going to open it there, and I'm going to upload them just one at a time. So I'm just going to upload each file one at a time. So I'm going to upload distractions. Notice here's another way to upload is to just drag and drop, and it uploads distractions. Oh, it didn't get in HTML. See how it's outside of HTML? So I'm going to delete those because I didn't get where I want them to be. Where location is really important, right? And I want to be in HTML, so let's see if I can drag this in the right way. There. Drag it into... Okay, now it's saying, do you want to overwrite it? Yes, I want to overwrite it. Sorry, you probably can't see that happening. Let me move it over so you can see it when I do this next one. So I'm going to drag procrastination in there. I'm going to make sure it goes into the HTML folder. It uploads it. It realizes there's another procrastination folder in there, file in there, so it says, do you want to do that? And I say yes, continue and do that. Now when I drag the index.html file into the HTML folder, it won't say that, right? Because there isn't one there. And so it just uploaded it and it put the index.html there. Now I don't want learning.html and index.html because then I have two files that I need to maintain. And I don't want to maintain two files. So I'm going to get rid of this learning.html. Okay, so now inside my HTML folder I have the three files I wanted, and they're the updated versions that have the right menus. And now if I come back to the URL and I say, oh, I want, and I give it the whole path, icarus.cs.weber.edu, the username and the folder name HTML, and now I put no file name, it opens up that file. So it goes to that location, looks for a default file name, and the one that it finds is index.html. And that's why you'll see URLs that don't actually have a file name in them. And now let's make sure that our links work. Yeah, there you go. And that one works. Awesome. So now all of our links work. Our icon, favicon, in the icon that's in the tab is working. So we're all set. That's what we wanted to accomplish for this activity.